Do you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So welcome to the class of application for machine learning in biological systems, offered from School of Energy Science and Engineering. So this course will be co-taught by Dr. Amit Ghosh from School of Energy Science and Engineering. Amit is here in this meeting, and myself, Dr. Pralay Mitra from Computer Science and Engineering Department. So both of us has designed this course with an aim that you should have an idea that while working with the biological systems, then how to use the machine learning techniques. So first of all, you all will agree with me that nowadays you cannot avoid the use of the machine learning. You can use as a tool, you can you can develop some technique in machine learning, but while you are trying to analyze a huge amount of data, then you need to take the help of some automated tool like machine learning. This machine learning, actually, the history of machine learning says that it has built long back, probably during the Second World War. So there was an Enigma system. What it was trying to do is trying to gain some information or infer something out of the experience or data. So in this case, when I say experience, then you can understand that, say, a human, when it understands, okay, so this is a, say, apple, or this is a mango, then in the past, if you look back, then you will see that either looking at the photograph of mango or apple, or taking some mango or apple in hand, he is able to understand that this is mango or this is apple. And of course, somebody is there who is explaining or telling that this is mango, this is apple. And when he says that one, then our inherent intelligence or the learning techniques tries to understand or identify some of the characteristics features through which I remember that, okay, this is mango or this is apple. So that in future, if somebody will give it to me, then I can able to say that, okay, this is mango or this is apple. Okay. Now you know that in biology, lot of data are there. We need to analyze that data. We need to, say, store that data, and we need to infer something out of that data. With that aim, actually, we designed this course. So let me first give you some course related information. The course is running in slot E that you noted from your ERP. Schedule is Wednesday 12 noon to 1 p.m., Thursday 11 a.m. to 12 noon, Friday 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. So this course will be, there are two instructors in this course, myself, Dr. Pranay Mitra, and Dr. Amit Ghosh. Our email address is provided here. So during this course or after the course also, if you have any course related query or you wish to discuss anything, so don't hesitate to contact us through email. And if required, we will discuss that issues in the class for the sake of everybody's knowledge, or if it is very much personal issue, then we will discuss over the email, or if required, we can talk over the phone also. Okay. This course we will conduct in online mode, as it is decided that this semester is going to be online. The classes will take place in MS Teams. Currently, you are also using this MS Teams. Now, the MS Teams will record the class, and we actually we are recording. You can see that it is being recorded. So the recording will be available to you up to 21 days after the class. So this 21 days criteria is not set by us. It is the criteria set by the MS Teams, the kind of license they provide based upon that one. So we suggest that you please take the proper note. If you miss that one during the class hours, then you please take the notes within 21 days. But our lecture slides will be available to you in Moodle, that I will go to that one. And attendance to this class is mandatory. And as you understand, this is the first instance of the course. So you will not get help of any senior or any question paper or anything. So you have to attend this course. So the teaching materials we plan to upload in the Moodle, and the recording will be in the MS Teams. So for the Moodle, you need to log in. So please note down this link. So it is http kgpmoodle.iitkgp.ac.in/Moodle. So you please log into that Moodle, and the course name is Application of Machine Learning in Biological Systems. So as I understand from my colleague, Dr. Amit, that your email address will be taken from the ERP, and our staff member at the Moodle office will help you to enroll to this course. So no need to worry about it. You just create login in KGP Moodle, and if you already have an account in KGP Moodle, then it's not a problem. You can access that one. But when I say that your email address will be taken from the ERP, then I wish to mention that you please update your email address in the ERP. So please have the email address which you access frequently in the ERP along with your mobile number, the contact information. Because if required, if we wish to say call to you, then we will get your contact number from the ERP. And if there is any course related information we wish to inform you, then we will use the email address which is there in the ERP. Okay. Now, if it is the case that say you are not using IIT KGP email address, but that is the only email address given in the ERP, then all the emails from us and all the messages from us will be sent to you to that particular email. And if you do not check the email, then you will not get it. One option may be you can add the email address which you are being used, or you can make a forward option in your IIT KGP website so that you can forward that email to your designated email, say Gmail or Yahoo or Hotmail or whatever you are using. Okay. This is important. So we are planning to have 3 tests for you. All the tests will be online, and the test will be conducted in Moodle. So your registration to Moodle is important, not only to look for the class lecture notes, but also for the class tests. So as I understand, some of you are from MTech students, some of you are MTech students and very fresh. You may not have an experience to take the online test in IIT KGP Moodle. So what we will do, we will have a demo test before our actual first test. So the schedule we are planning is test 1, test 2, test 3. All will be during class hours, and the dates are 8th of September, 6th of October, and 17th of November. So these dates all are given by the Dean Office. So those weeks are earmarked as the exam weeks. Classes will go on as usual, but test will also happen. If you look at the timetable, you will see that the time is 12 noon to 1:15 p.m. Actually, it will be 1 hour test, but you know that if some of you may have class up to say 12, and it may possible that you will join little late. That's why what we are planning that, okay, so we will start instead of 12 noon, we will start at 12:05. So 5 minutes after the 12 noon. Then everybody can able to join, and from 12:05 to 1:05 will be the time for the test. So please mark in your calendar the 3 dates for the test: test 1, test 2, and test 3. Course content, probably you have looked at that. So it is divided into grossly 10 modules. We wish to cover in 36 lecture hours. Introduction to machine learning will be the first module, and I wish to mention that this is not a class of machine learning, so we will not go into all the details of the machine learning, but yes, for the rest of the portion, whatever is required for our data analysis or biological data analysis, those techniques we will discuss. Our main intention will be to teach you those machine learning algorithms so that given some biological data, you can perform all the required analysis to convert that work into a journal paper. As you know, this is a PG level course, and everybody in the academics has an ambition to go for some publication. We hope that our students are also ambitious, that after reading this course, the knowledge they will gain, they can apply that one for their respective projects, or they can continue the research. With that aim, actually, we will discuss the machine learning techniques. Now, when we will discuss the machine learning techniques, starting from the very basic, I will start. Few algorithms I will introduce. After that, the question is that it will be only the techniques. It will be only the algorithms. But with that technique or algorithm, what shall I do? I need to have some implementation of that machine learning algorithms. That's why our second module is on Python programming. I understand some of you already has done Python programming. If not, if you have any exposure to any programming language, then you can pick it up. But this module will be taught by Dr. Amit, and he will take care about this Python programming. Again, the aim of your Python programming is that you use the existing library functions for the machine learning techniques so that you can apply that on some database to infer or to analyze the database. So that will be the main aim of the second module, which will be taught by Dr. Amit. The first module I will teach. Third to seventh, all those modules: exploratory data analysis, single cell RNA-seq analysis, machine learning for multi-omic data, predictive engineering and metabolic pathway optimization, bioprocess control and optimization will be taken care by Dr. Amit. Next, 3 modules, 8, 9, 10, classifying cancer subtypes using clustering, diagnosis of breast cancer from biopsy image using neural network, NN means neural network, predicting cardiovascular risk using regression. So this regression, neural network, classification are some of the machine learning techniques or tools that we will discuss at the first module. So this 8, 9, 10, this module I will discuss. But it may not be the case that the ordering of these modules will come, say 1, then 2, 3, 4, like that way. So as you understand that as such, there is not much dependency among those modules. They are mutually disjoint. So it may possible time to time we will switch from one module to another module. But of course, when we will be discussing one module, at a stretch we will finish one module and then go to the next module. Looking at the content of the course, as you understand that there is no such textbook which can cover the complete content of this course. Say for machine learning, it is the introductory courses, so some concepts will be required. You need not have to go into details of any machine learning book, but overview of the book, some concepts that you can learn. For Python programming, it's not a bad idea that if you have one book on Python programming, usually the books from Orally are very good on programming languages. You can have one such Python programming book from Orally. Those books are also cheap relatively, so you can purchase one such book, so that Python programming will not only help you in this course, but the Python programming will also help you for other programming courses. And nowadays, when everything is in, say, smartphone or computer, it is always a good idea, if you are not already exposed to any programming languages, then you should learn at least one programming language. And if it is Python, then it's good actually. Okay. So as I was mentioning that the content is something like we cannot refer only one textbook for that purpose. So mostly the content is gathered from recent literature. That's why we are also offering it as a PG level course. So most of the recent publications and literature will be discussed. But whenever we will take help of some, say, book or some literature, I mean the journal publication, then we will make it available to you through Moodle so that you can go through that one. Don't worry if you do not have read any journal paper earlier. Maybe this course will give you a chance to start reading the journal papers. Okay. So we will be careful about giving you the journal papers in such a way that not too many journal papers are given to you. So, but it will be a fun to read those and learn those. So that's all about the course content and curriculum that we are planning to cover. Now, regarding this, if you have any question, please do not hesitate to ask.
Sir. Hello, sir.
Yes, I can hear you. Tell me.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Sarvesh sir, I cannot hear you.
We like our experience. Program. Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello. Hello, sir.
Yes, tell me.
What is going to be for me? I have no any prior experience in machine learning or not good enough in programming languages.
Can you please tell a little loudly? I have difficulty to read you.
Sir, I'm typing.
Okay.
Network issue.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Anessa.
Sir, actually, I tried to log in to the Moodle website of IIT KGP. I tried to log in with the institute email ID, but they are asking for the password, which I don't have. and there is
First
no
you have to
option.
register. First
Sir,
you have to register.
actually, I couldn't find the option to register there. There is only the login option I could find.
So, Amit, how will they work? Do you have idea?
We have not sent the email address, so we are waiting for registration, complete registration. So by this week, we'll send the email to Moodle team and they will add it. I think it is not added till now.
Okay, then Odessa, you have to wait for a few more days, and then you can get it.
Okay, sir.
Sure, they will send you the password. So
Okay,
we have to wait for that.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so regarding this, okay, Sarveswar. So regarding the difficulty level, etc., it depends. Okay, so the content I have mentioned. Now, if you are open to learn a new thing, then it is fine. But if you say that I will not learn anything, then I cannot help with you. It's fine. I understand that since you do not have any prior experience, that's why we are offering this course. Not only this course, you just think about other courses in your curriculum, say any core courses. The course is being offered because you do not have any exposure to that particular topic. So that's why we are offering the course. And we believe that whatever we will be discussing, so that will be enough to understand. We didn't put any prerequisite on the machine learning, which means that we are expecting you do not have any prior experience on machine learning. And accordingly, we will take care about it.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
So we have couple of TAs who are expert in programming. They will be helping 24/7. So anytime you can call them and find out how to write a code. You can ask anything. So and they are ready to help you. So not only teachers, we have many TAs. A group of TAs has been allotted.
Okay, then Amit, it will be good that if we make their email address also available to them, the TA's email address.
So can you please once check the chat?
Okay, we'll do that.
I will send the list of TA in 1 or 2 days.
So to answer to Kunal and liked by Suryam, sir, we are third year CS UG students and don't have much background of biology. Will this be a problem for us? Definitely you have to learn little biology as part of this course, because we will be using some terminology, some terms in the biology. So may I know, Kunal, that last time you studied biology, was it plus 10 or plus 12?
So class 10.
Okay, then you have to learn little bit of biology. Okay, so if you are free to do that one, then it's fine. But if you are not, then it might be a problem, because let me go through the, let me read the content. If you already have not done that one, then you will understand that why I am suggesting this one. So regarding the module 1, it's fine, introduction to machine learning. So we are expecting that you know only you are qualified for this course. Once you are admitted to IIT KGP, then that is enough to get an introduction to machine learning. It's not a big deal. Now regarding Python programming and bootcamp, so all those who has some background in the programming, it is well and good. If not, then they have to learn the Python programming. Now, for the last 3, classification of the cancer subtype using clustering, diagnosis breast cancer, predicting cardiovascular risk, we will be mostly using the data, and the classification techniques will be used. But when we will classify the cancer into different subtypes, whether it is a pancreatic cancer, whether it is a brain cancer, whether it's a breast cancer, when we will be classifying that one, so what are the features, what are the reasons for those cancers, you need to learn that knowledge. And in some of the parts like plotting and visualizing of big data in biology, it's not a problem to anybody, like the first module, Introduction to Machine Learning, but single cell RNA-seq analysis. So there are topics like RPKM, TPM, CPM, isoform inference, RNA-seq alignment. You have to know what is the problem. So RNA-seq alignment. Then in the machine learning for multi-omic data, so what are the different omics data? So how do we analysis? Then metabolic pathway, those things you have to learn. Okay, so that learning is required. Again, I am telling that if you do not have any knowledge of the biology, then you can able to cope up with this one. But you have to be open that I will learn little bit of biology. Otherwise, it will be difficult. Is that clear, Kunal?
Yes.
So Nishita, Shashank, Subhadra, Shubham, all are with a question. Sir, can we mention about some of the prerequisite, because some of us are second year students. So it will be helpful if you can get some idea on the prerequisite. So I just mentioned, Shubham, that for the Python, so I believe that second year means you are UG student, right? Second year UG means that, so you have done already PDS course. So you have the background on the programming. So from PDS course, you can pick Python programming. That's not a problem. Machine learning, as I mentioned, we will start from the very basic. It will not be a problem. Biology, little bit you have to learn and you have to understand that one. And we'll be doing the analysis of the biological data using machine learning algorithms that we will say, and time to time you need to implement that one. Okay, so as such, we didn't keep any background or prerequisite for these purposes, but you have to be open that I will learn some programming, I will learn some machine learning techniques, and I will learn little bit of biology. Am I correct, Amit?
Yes, Pralay.
So you have to be open that I will learn this one.
Sir, actually, some of us are from biotechnology department only, so.
No, it is irrespective of the department. Okay. Now you look. Do you have the access to the syllabus?
Yes, we have seen the syllabus.
Very good. Then you can go through that syllabus. So I am telling this to everybody, to Kunal, to Subham, to whoever is posting and whoever has the query. You go through that syllabus. And if you again have any confusion about anything, that with which detail or what detail we will be covering that one, then talk to us. Okay, but as I mentioned, it's a kind of interdisciplinary course. So little bit of machine learning, the implementation of that algorithm, and on the biological data is the main aim. So we will use machine learning algorithms, we will implement machine learning algorithms on the biological data. That is our main aim. So machine learning, the algorithm, that what is required, we will teach you. There are tools, techniques. You need not have to develop anything from the scratch regarding the machine learning algorithms. Next, regarding the programming, the Python programming will be discussed, and I believe all of you has some sort of programming background. If you are UG, then you did first year PDS course, you know C programming. From there you can pick up Python. If you are MTech course, definitely in your UG you have done some sort of programming, so from there you can pick it up. And finally, the application domain is biology. So the terms like RNA-seq data, what is the full form of RNA? How the RNA-seq data looks like, whether it's a character, whether it's an integer, whether it's a floating point number, what is their relationship. So if you do not understand that domain, or if you do not understand that point, then it will be pointless to develop or apply any algorithm. So that way some knowledge is required. But as I mentioned, there is no prerequisite. If you are open that yes, I can learn this one, it's not a big deal, you are most welcome, because it's an interdisciplinary course, and you know that nowadays these interdisciplinary courses are gaining some momentum. So that's why we are offering this one. Then Nidhi has some question. Nidhi. Nidhi, do you able to hear me?
Hello.
Yes, Nidhi.
Yes, sir. I got the answer of my question
Okay.
when you were discussing the other's question. Sir, actually, I don't have any prior experience in programming language.
No, but are you open? So it is to you
Yes,
and
sir.
Somojit who has posted the question. Are you open to learn the programming?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
I was asking like what we have to do means we will learn basic programming here, or we have to learn programming from other internet source also.
No, look. First of all, you have to learn. You will start from the basic. From the basic, as you understand that if you apply our algorithm, so then there is no point of having this course. Say, if we just discuss the theory that okay, this way we can classify the say some data. So that is kind of knowing this. But what we want, not only knowing, you should be able to do this by yourself. So
Yes.
that's when you wish to do, then you have to think that, okay, if I wish to classify, which classification algorithms will suit, and how to implement that classification algorithms. Now, I can tell you one thing that in Python, so there is a huge library of machine learning tools and algorithms. Hardly you need to code much. And that is also an advantage of Python compared to C programming language. In C, you have to write at least say 50 or 60 lines in order to do a simple say simple function based GCD computation, but it is not the case for Python. Okay, so that is also advantage for the Python, but you have to be open and you have to do this one.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Somojit, did I answer your question?
Sir, yes, sir, I got the answer.
Okay. Anybody has any question related to course? Because we understand that this is the first time course, and that's why you are not getting any feedback from your seniors. So if you have any question, then you can ask. You got the syllabus, you go through that syllabus. As I mentioned, that those terminology, say somebody may not be aware about say flux analysis, RNA-seq data, metabolic pathway. What is that? So those things we will discuss definitely. Along with that one, you have to an urge to read and understand also. Okay, and always you remember one thing, that once you know the course, then there is no need of crediting or auditing the course. You are crediting or auditing the course because you do not know this subject and you wish to know this subject. That is the reason. Okay. So if there is no other question, then I can start our first lecture.
Yes, sir.
Because we have about 20 minutes, 15 or 20 minutes. So let us utilize that one.
So, can you make a WhatsApp group? It will be easy to communicate since we are like 20-25 people.
Kunal,
Yes,
do you have any question?
Yes, sir. I was saying, sir, can you make a WhatsApp group? It will be easy to communicate.
Definitely, you can have that one. So you want me to be the admin, or any one of you can be the admin? What do you prefer? It's not a good idea to have teacher in your group, is it?
No, sir, you can.
Okay. So, so who is the PhD student here?
So we have one TA here.
Yes, sir, I am the PhD student. Maybe.
Nidhi is
I-
TA.
Yeah, Pritam Kundu, my senior research scholar is there. Pritam Kundu. Pritam, you are
Okay.
here. He can make the group, this WhatsApp group, and they will you will be added. Basically.
Okay, so then, I think then, so Pritam, you can create the group and you can actually share the group. So you can send that to the bar with the invitation, and we can send an email to all of the students so that they can join using that one. That will be good, right?
Yes, sir, I will do that. I can do
Okay,
that,
good.
and if I have the number of the students, I will add them in that group.
No,
No problem.
getting the number, no, Pritam, that's what I'm telling. Getting the number may be a little bit problem. So what you
Yes.
can do that are you in the mail group, that email I sent yesterday and today?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So once you create the group, you post in that. You will get that image, 2D image, the bar plot. So you
Okay.
post that bar plot in that mail group. So
Okay.
whoever
Okay.
is
Okay.
interested, they can join by scanning that bar.
Okay, sir. That will be good, sir. Okay. Sir.
Kunal, is that fine?
Yes, sir, definitely.
Okay, very good. You see, Kunal, we are here to help you out, but only thing is that you have to urge that I will learn new thing and I will learn it. Okay. But if you say that I will not, then we are very helpless. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Subham suggested that you can share the link on the MS Team. So that is also same. Okay. So, okay, Sasank Dubey is telling. Okay, so Pritam, what you can do, so for another, say, 10-15 minutes when I will be discussing regarding the introduction. So if you create the WhatsApp group, so they are requesting to paste it here in this chat box. So if it is possible
Okay,
for
sir.
you,
Okay, sir.
so they can join
Okay, sir.
today itself, okay?
Okay, sir. I'm trying, sir.
Okay.
I'll be posting. Okay.
So let us start the first module. So as I mentioned that I will take care about the first module. Second onwards will be taken care by Dr. Ami. So let us start with some introduction of the machine learning. So what are the machine learning techniques? Long back, Shapiro in 1992 made a statement: machine learning, most commonly called as the ML techniques, enable systems to learn from experience. Read data means this experience can also be considered as data. Why? I will come to that. ML refers to a system's ability to acquire and integrate knowledge through large-scale observations and to improve and extend itself by learning new knowledge rather than by being programmed with that knowledge. So in the first line or in the first sentence, it says that it enables to learn from experience. So this experience is very much clear to all of us. Whatever we learn is no doubt through our experience. Now, whenever it is experience, so the experience is developed based upon some observations or understanding of some material or something that in general I am calling as data. Okay, that I am calling as data. So for example, when there is a child, mostly if you have observed or if you have thought that he or she, that baby or the kid, doesn't have the knowledge of a lot of things, that what is cold, what is hot, what is smooth, what is rough. So all are related to the feeling through our skin, right? Now by our observation, we differentiate in colors, right? So if I say that pear and apple, so the person who is not aware about pear or apple, it will not be very easy for them to differentiate. But over the experience, or if I show different variations of pears, that either green pears or ripe pears, green apple, ripe apple, and I mention that okay, this is pears green, this is this is apple green. That way, if I keep on informing, then through that the data means pear or apple, and the experience means knowledge that it is pear and it is apple. He will gain some experience, so that in future when only one object will be given to you, he can look at it and say whether it is a pear or it is an apple or it is none of them. So it develops some prediction power, or it develops some kind of classification power that is developed based upon some experience or data. So if you think about yourself, you have observed pears in different forms and formats, you have observed apple in different forms and formats, and by looking at that, inside your mind or in your intelligence, it has developed that whenever you will see something, then what kind of features or what kind of properties you need to grab. So you have say 5 sense organs. So using those 5 sense organs, you grab how many features. After accumulating all those features, you quickly classify and tell. So everything happens in your mind, but hardly you think that okay, it is happening, because it is so inherent and inbuilt in your system. So that way I can say that kind of one classification model is developed inside your mind or body. So that model helps you to analyze or to predict or to say assign a new object to some known objects. And when it is the case that you are given with say something, I mean some fruits which you have not seen earlier, then you will be clueless. Only thing you can say that okay, these are the list of the fruits I know, and it doesn't belong any one of them. So that is also a kind of classification. That classification puts it to some unknown category with respect to my knowledge or my experience or my model. So that is my ability. In this case, second statement starts. ML refers to a system's ability to acquire and integrate knowledge through large-scale observations. So large scale means So if I see different variations of pears and apples, then I will be a master to discriminate between pears and apples. Different variations means small, large, green, ripe. Apple also, you see that different colors are there. It is not only green, it can be red, it can be yellow, red combined. So those variations will come only if I have a large number of observations. And you can also understand that if I keep on increasing the variety on the pears and the apple, then my experience on pears and apple will also improve. Simple thing is that if I give you only a red color apple and say green color pear, and I say, okay, this is apple and this is pear, I just mentioned that one. Using your sense organ, the data and experience, you may have a false notion that whatever is green and shaped like this is pear, whatever is red and shaped like this is apple. Now, if I give you one green apple, you will say that it's a pear. The reason is that you are not learning sufficiently. Your observations is not in the large scale. And that's why your ability, in this case system's ability, because machine is learning, is limited or restricted. Now, starting from the restriction, if I keep on extending the observations, then definitely my knowledge will be improved and extended by learning new knowledge rather than by being programmed with that particular knowledge. Okay, so what we have learned, that in case of machine learning, only difference with a human is that there must be some algorithm, and the algorithm will be implemented so that it will be automated in nature, given a set of the data. So it will read that data and learn through experience, means it will grab some features. That way, that data will tell that these are the features, and you use these features for future prediction. Okay, that is the main core idea of machine learning techniques. There are a lot of application of machine learning techniques and also the algorithms: regression, classification, clustering, dimensionality reduction, ensemble methods, neural nets and deep learning, transfer learning, reinforcement learning, which is in short called as the RL. This one is called as the RL. This is called as the DL. You heard these names, I believe. And this neural net is called as the NN. Natural language processing, in short, it is called as the NLP. Word embeddings, this is also some part of this natural language processing. So those are some of the techniques, and they have some application to some respective fields. So in brief, we will discuss some of them in this introductory classes that starts today and will continue for another few days. After that one, whenever it will be required in the context, we will discuss the respective learning techniques. Okay. Grossly, there are 3 machine learning techniques, or if I say the types of machine learning, grossly there are 3. Initially it was 2, called as the supervised and unsupervised. Nowadays, this reinforcement learning is also gaining a huge momentum. What is the difference between these 3? Before going to the definition of this, let us come back to the example and the experience through which we are developing some idea regarding the model. So one situation is that, say you are a kid and your parents are teaching it to you. So when your parents are teaching to you, then your parents has the knowledge. So your parent is giving you apple and pear and telling this is apple, this is pear, this is apple, this is pear, different variations, and you are looking, oh, this is apple, this is pear. Now your sense organ, your intelligence through which you are learning. Similar to that, if in some technique I will give a set of different data and mention that these are the data of this, which means the data is being labeled, like it is labeled as apple, it is labeled as pear. So if the data is labeled, then when the model or the learning is being done, then it is done, okay, this is apple, this is pear, this is apple, this is pear. I am taking two examples, apple or pear, but it can be others also, like pear, banana, apple, mango, so all the fruits it can be, right? So if I know that what it is, I mean the data is labeled properly, not properly, data is labeled just, then the kind of algorithm I'll be using is called as a supervised one. Okay. Sometimes it might be the case that you are not getting that kind of guidance, right? Say for example, you reach to some, you are doing adventure and you reach to some island. In that island, you noted that different variety of stones are there. Now you know that there are different names for the stones, their origin is different, their construction is different, but nobody is there in that island to teach you, and also you are not an expert on that one. Still, if you wish to separate out, then what you will do, you will look at those stones, you will get some features, and then you keep on separating out. But you do not know what is the name of that stone, whether it is a limestone or whether it's any other stone. So you do not know that one. But using the features, it is being discriminated. So if the data is not labeled, I do not know what it is, but only the data is given to you, then we have to use these unsupervised learning techniques. Okay. And the third kind is when it is being learned from the failure. Very simple example, again I can say that when a baby is trying to walk, so you will see that frequently she is falling down, but again she will pick up and she will try. While she is trying, then she is learning that how she will make the next move in terms of moving the leg, moving the body weight, moving the hand, so that she will not fall. And that way, when it will keep on moving, then that kind of technique is called as a reinforcement learning. In case of reinforcement learning, details I will discuss on the next class. There are three things. One is called as the agent, another is called as the environment, and third one is called as the reward. So agent usually interacts with the environment, and because of that interaction, the outcome is being rewarded. Now, if the reward is very high, which means that move is accepted. If the reward is not that much high, then it is not that much favored or accepted. In this case, we should not say that penalty. As such, we should not say anything like failure. Only the reward, which means non-zero values. Higher the value, higher is the reward. moving towards that one. Lower the value, lower is the reward, and do not consider that movement. Okay, so grossly 3 things we discussed. One is that when the data is labeled, we will be using supervised learning technique. When the data is not labeled, we will be using unsupervised learning. And when it is required to interact with the environment, and based upon that interaction, we will decide whether to reward or reward heavily or not. Based upon that one, if I keep on selecting or deciding that one, then that is called as the reinforcement learning, or in short RL. Okay, so details we'll keep on discussing on the next class that is scheduled on tomorrow at 11 a.m. So regarding the class, I am stopping here, but if you have any question up to this or any other question, so you can ask me.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Any question do you have?
Hello, sir.
Yes, Vanessa.
Sir, actually, I was asking about the agent in reinforcement learning.
Can you please repeat?
Sir, I was asking what does the agent do in reinforcement learning?
Okay, we will discuss that one. We will come to that.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So today is
Sir,
just introductory class. Yes.
Sir, I have a question. That in the first slide you have showed in the definition that learning new knowledge rather than being programmed with that knowledge. Means what is the difference between learning the knowledge and being programmed with the knowledge?
Okay, so Somojit, when I say programmed, by programmed I say that okay, so let me assume that you have a teacher. Okay, so don't feel bad. I am just taking this example. Okay, so you have a teacher and he is very strict. He says, Somojit, you will come to the lab at 10 a.m. and you will leave the lab at 10 p.m. Lunch will be served in the lab. Between this time, you should not go anywhere. You do just a work. That is kind of a strict rules, and that is kind of a program. Now, if you feel that, okay, my productivity is very high early in the morning, say from 7 a.m. to 12 noon, and then in the evening, say 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., then you wish to test your productivity by changing your schedule. So second one is you are trying to learn from the new experiments. And the first one is that you are programmed by your teacher that from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. you should be in the class. Although you can see that, okay, you are not productive during that time, but the same say 12 hours, if you break into say different slots based upon your productivity, then you can actually do better. Then you are not free to go. So programmed means that it is a hard coded thing and you are bound to follow that one. On the other hand, in the first slide, what I mentioned that you are learning new knowledge means that you look say your colleague or roommate or say by yourself you feel that okay, if I come early in the morning and late night, then my productivity is very high. I will go during that time. Afternoon I will skip. Maybe I will go for playing. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you, sir. I understand.
Any other question?
Sir, I had a doubt in unsupervised part, like you said, there are no labels in the data, then how is it classified?
No, it will classify based upon its texture. Say the same example, pears and apple, right? Now, say if I take say mango and banana. I am taking one easy example so that you can understand it properly. If I take mango and banana, but I am not telling that this is called mango and this is called banana. Okay, so it is difficult for you because you cannot feel like that. But say there is a kid, okay, and he was never exposed to banana or mango. Now I am giving some fruits consisting, or a basket, fruit basket consisting of banana and mango, and ask him to separate out. Then what he will do, that looking at the shape of banana and then the shape of the say mango, or say the texture of the mango and the banana, he will have some ability to discriminate that one without knowing that it is mango and it is banana. Is that
Okay,
clear?
sir. I understand.
But when I say it is mango and it is banana, then so along with mango, the label is there. So label is mango, label is banana. So some features you are attaching, but in this case, you cannot attach that feature.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Any other question? Okay. So if there is no other question, then let us stop here for today. We'll continue on tomorrow at the scheduled time, 11 a.m. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We hope that you will learn something new and you can apply that one in your project and research. Okay.
Now, WhatsApp group link has been provided in the chat box.
Oh, okay. Yes. WhatsApp group link has provided. Did you noted that one?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We have joined.
Please join there. Okay.